In today's netball coaching session, we are specifically working on defensive efforts in small spaces with the overall goal of gaining an intercept. The 3 progressive drills that I have my participants complete across the duration of the training session all build on one another, focusing on key areas in each drill, with the final drill combining all of the focus areas in an attempt to achieve the overall goal of gaining an intercept. After looking back on my coaching video, I determined that I follow more of a traditional approach to coaching, where I explained the drills and then they completed them. While there was opportunities to ask questions and input feedback, I didn't ask for suggestions on what my players wanted to work on. I think this is potentially because I'm only quite a new coach, so I wasn't 100% comfortable or confident to deviate from what I had already planned for the session. My players are also not proficient at the skills involved in netball, so they also potentially might not have known what they wanted to work on. In future sessions, I'd love to incorporate more of a democratic or athlete-centered style where my players can have a more amount of input in the sessions. By implementing this, I would be enabling them the opportunity to promote their learning through ownership, responsibility, initiative, and awareness underpinned by the philosophy of empowerment. I've adopted the cognitive learning theory in my coaching. Through conducting my needs analysis prior to the training session, I understood clearly how my players think, process, and retain information. Through this, I tried to engage my players through the training sessions with clear demonstrations and explanations prior to each of the drills, also incorporating the use of diagrams and visual aids, as well as mental rehearsal and reflection. Problem solving and decision making are also woven through the training session, requiring my players to apply their prior knowledge and make decisions under simulated game pressure. Originally, I had planned to take the training session on outdoor courts, but the particular day for the training session had unexpected bad weather with raining and thunderstorms. As a result, we moved to the indoor squash court rooms at the Uni Active building to ensure the safety of the players. Although this wasn't a netball court, the surface was pretty much the same as an indoor netball court, and the space was large enough for the session that I'd planned. Before beginning the session, I apologised for any inconvenience caused by moving the location of the session around at the last minute. We always start our training sessions with some light chit-chat about how their week has been so far to ensure that morale is maintained and to give everyone a chance to catch up, which personally as a coach I think is vital. I then went on to explain what we were going to be doing in the session, which included a verbal description of the drills alongside diagrams and a written description, as I'm showing them throughout the video. Through previous sessions, I determined that different participants in my group learn different ways, and the use of visual aids assisted me in sparking the interests of my learners and to explain the concepts to them easier. The participants completed a basic warm-up prior to the session. The purpose of a warm-up before sport is to prepare the body and mind for an intensive activity, improve muscle flexibility, increase blood flow, enhance focus, and reduce the risk of injury. While I was setting up the cones for the first activity, I asked everyone to think about what they were going to do in the first drill. Because we had already gone through on paper what the drill looked like, I wanted them to mentally rehearse to ensure they were confident and to think of any questions they might have about the drill before starting.
So there's 4 different letters that you're going to do. Objectives of the drill is to always have your head and eyes facing forward, so you can turn your hips to run, but you always want to have vision forward in case I throw a ball at you, which I won't, but like in case. So the first one's an M, so it's going to be like run up to the middle, up and back, and your body always wants to be facing towards the center as well. So I'll demonstrate so we can see. So we can run up, and then I'm going to turn my hips in this way and run to the middle, and then run up, and then turn my hips so I'm facing inward still. I can still see, and run back, and then we go back up, and we turn, 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 back. And you're just gonna do that with 30-second efforts 4 times, and then we're gonna swap to each one. Use little steps, so we don't wanna be like taking big elephant stomps, like little mouse steps, because it's a small space. And on a netball court, we work in a small area. So instead of like doing that in 2 steps, you wanna do little ones, like all the time. Okay, are we ready to go?
Yes.
Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Yay! Let's. Show them colours again. So you start in between the 2 bottom ones. You're going to run up. You're going to side step to one cone, side step to the other, back to the middle, and run backwards. That's like the easiest one. But just remember, real little steps. Okay. Okay, next letter is going to be W. So you're going to start at the top of the cones, and you're going to start as though you kiss. So this is like the front. So you're going to go back, up, but this time you can just keep your hips this way because otherwise it's too hard. Back, up, down, up, down, up. Make sense?
Let's do it.
As this drill progresses, the increased cognitive load starts to become apparent as LeBron and Ella both start to experience a little bit of frustration around grasping the concept of the drill. In this circumstance, I definitely should have stopped and re-demonstrated. However, I just let them keep going. The main objective of Drill 2 was to efficiently turn your body around another player while ensuring to minimise the time you have your head and eyes turned away from the side of the ball. Prior to the players completing this drill, I demonstrated what this should look like when done most effectively to give them a visual representation, along with the diagram they viewed prior to the warm-up. All players excelled in this drill and utilised their footwork that was practiced in the first drill. All the participants achieved the objectives that were the outcomes from the drill, and this is clearly seen as I give them positive reinforcement while completing the drill.
That was a good job. Okay, do one more and then we'll stop it. My cheeks probably a little. Okay, go. Okay. So now Alice is coming. Oh. So yeah, she's very cognitive. It's very cognitive based. Okay. Okay. Ready? Go. Nice. Make it quite harder. Yep. Ready? Go. Good job. Do one more. Good job.
While completing drill 3, Ella struggled more with the increased cognitive load, so I talked her through the timing of gaining the intercept and encouraged her with positive reinforcement. Drill 3 had the objectives of simulating game-like pressure and involved the players to focus on more than one aspect of their game. By doing the little feet over the cones prior to taking off, the players had to keep their feet moving while their heads up and eyes on the ball. The player also had to be aware of the attacker coming through at different speeds and time their takeoff so they could intercept the ball cleanly without causing a contact call against them. At the conclusion of the session, we all came back together and recapped each drill, what the objectives were, and if we achieved them or not. I asked whether the players felt successful after the session and if they had any feedback. Here's what they had to say.
So, yeah, I probably would have liked a little bit of input into the lesson, but overall, I really enjoyed the lesson and I had a lot of fun. And yeah.
I really enjoyed that training session. I liked how you kept it fun while also helping us work on our skills, particularly our fast feet, which I thought was really helpful.